Hey guys, what's up? I'm Mortimer, and today we're going to have some things. By things, I'm going to have a big amount of stuff. By big, I mean like the size of my whole drawing room. It's a whopping amount. As you can see today, we have got, let's say, I don't know, maybe 100, maybe 99 Mr. Man books I've got to reveal with you. Plus, a Mr. Man Snap game I made. Well, not that I made, but I made Mr. Man Top Trumps that I made. These are the Snap cards, and these are the Top Trumps cards. Let's start with the books. So, first, let's start with the Mr. Man books, some with added sparkle. So there's Mr. Man and the Tooth Fairy, Mr. Man Ballet Show, Mr. Man Trip to the Moon, Mr. Man Rainy Day, Mr. Man Goes Swimming, Mr. Mischief and the Leprechaun, Mr. Man at the Park, and Mr. Jelly and the Pirates. Shiver me timbers. And with my Mr. Man, I've got the first ever Mr. Man book, which was Mr. Tickle, Mr. Sneeze, Mr. Silly, Mr. Daydream, Mr. Muddle, Mr. Tall, Mr. Perfect, Mr. Cool, Mr. Rouge, Mr. Nobody, and Mr. Adventure. Books falling over. And then my Little Miss books, there's Little Miss Sunshine, Little Miss Twins, Little Miss Lucky, Little Miss Bad, Little Miss Whoops, Little Miss Hug, and Little Miss Adventure. And at the end of every Mr. Man book, there's an advertisement. So, you can make your own book, and you can be in it. Well, you don't make the book. It's called Whatever Your Name Is and the Silly Birthday. Well, I've got one right here. I got this for my 8th birthday. Did I press it? And then I've got Little Miss Scatterbrain, Sets Off for the Sun, Mr. Silly and the Silly Secret, Little Miss Tiny, just the right size, Mr. Nosy and the Excellent Idea, Mr. Tickle Saves the Day, Mr. Noisy and the Giant, Little Miss Helpful at the Fair, Little Miss Helpful in the Greenhouse, Little Miss Neat and the Last Leaf, Little Miss Kiggles and the New Job, Mr. Greedy Comes Around for Lunch, Little Miss Stubborn and the Wrong Advice, Little Miss Naughty and the Good Fairy, Little Miss Trouble Moving House, Mr. Greedy is Helpfully Heavy, Little Miss Late Takes Her Time, Mr. Slow Rolls On, Little Miss Neat Cleans Up, Mr. Clever Flies a Kite, Little Miss Contrary All in a Muddle, Little Miss Somersault Goes Bump, Little Miss Trouble and the Mermaid, Little Miss Trouble changes color, Little Miss Scatterbrain Causes Chaos, Little Miss Strong and the Ogre, Mr. Strong, Mr. Nosy and the Big Surprise, Mr. Man, the Big Match, Mr. Bump Goes on Holiday, Mr. Greedy and the Gingerbread Man, Mr. Mean's Good Deed, Mr. Funny and the Magic Lamp, Little Miss Tiny's Big Adventure, Mr. Mischief the Artist, Little Miss Bossy Saves the Zoo, Little Miss Sunshine Keeps Her Smile, Mr. Funny Upsets Mr. Fussy, Mr. Small, A Big Day Out, Mr. Bump and the Night, Little Miss Dotty Has a Dotty Day Out, Mr. Small's Big Dream, The Three Little Misses and the Big Baddie Wolf, and then coming around the corner, Little Miss Sunshine cheers everyone up, Oh nuts, this is such a skinny gap. I might not fit in. Little Miss Chatterbox and the Frog Prince. Little Miss Wise's winning walk. Mr. Mischief has a spot of trouble. Little Miss Stubborn and the Unexpected Holiday. Mr. Noisy, the Musician. Little Miss Shy and the Fairy Godmother. Mr. Nosy and the Beanstalk. Mr. Messy messing about in the snow. Goes well with what the weather is like out here. Little Miss Splendid and the Princess. Mr. Topsy-Turvy, the round way wrong. Mr. Nonsense isn't himself. Little Miss Shy and the Lion. Little Miss Lucky's Friend. Little Miss Naughty, Roy's Mr. Worry. Little Miss Contrarian, the Confused Guest. Mr. Jelly and his small friend. Little Miss Magic to the rescue. Mr. Strong, Loose Virgil. And Mr. Muddle's Good Catch. Okay guys, so I was just tidying up and I got the boxes the Mr. Man books belonged in. When all of a sudden I realized I had messed this thing up at the start with the books with added in sparkle. I forgot Mr. Man making music. Dun dun dun! Okay, so I've stacked all those other Mr. Men books that took over the whole room. So I'm just going to quickly stack these up. I can try to do it in time lapse if I'm quick enough. And then this bunch go in a box. Now that box right here. So they go in at the side. Don't know why these two bunny toys are in there. And then I've got a box for Mr. Man and Little Miss books. But first we're going to work on the big thing. Getting these babies in. Oh, just noticed something else that I forgot. I've also got a joke box for Mr. Funny. Let me just place that in. Place these the right way, never be silly. Tidying up can get very stressful. There's the last two. Let me just get that rainbow box. If you're wondering, this is where I store all my Little Mr. Men and Little Miss books. Let me just get them in order. So, I sort them by numbers because there's numbers on the side, but not in the Mr. Tickle book because that was the old edition. But on these ones, you can see there's numbers. So there's 1, then 4, then 5, no 6, so it goes straight to 10, and then no 11, so it goes to 12, and then we do have a 13. If I can sort this out, I'll put it in. So there's our 13, and then it blasts to 16, and then it blasts up another 7, then it blasts up another 8, and then it's 32 already, then 33, then straight to 35, 36, and then we zoom to 42, these get 43. And then there's 44, then 45, no 46, so 47, and then 48. Assembling all that gets me out of puff. I might put my games away. I'm dying of sweat. Right, so that's this big boy packed up. Let's see whether this one. Now, just gotta put him back in the bedroom. Well, thanks for watching this video with me. I really enjoyed it. Peace. And remember to rock that style. Bye. Bye. And don't forget to rock that style with all that jazz. Peace.